Welcome to A Cup of Tea with Bree, where I get to know some of North Queensland's most amazing people, incredible business people, and inspiring characters. Now, this week's guest is a Philanthropy Manager for AFL Cape York House Foundation, a local charity that raises funds to help school-age young people from Cape York, the Torres Strait Islands, and Groote, Eylandt to complete their education. So please welcome the fantastic Nicole Gibson. Hi.
Hi, Bree.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you here for a cup of tea today. So I want to get to know you, everything about you that you're willing to share. So let's start with your childhood. Where were you born?
I was born in Nambour on the Sunshine Coast.
Okay.
So
Beautiful part of the world.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah. So, I started my life down there. My beautiful grandparents had a house at Alexandra Headlands. So, I got to spend the first few years of my life down there with them. Then Mum and I moved to Rockhampton, where I spent quite a lot of time in Rockhampton, which it's a good place.
Beef capital of Australia?
It is the beef capital of Australia, yes, it absolutely is. And I don't know whether you've known many people that have grown up in Rockhampton before, but there are statues of bulls on the way into town, in the middle of the town.
You said bulls, but with big balls as well.
Well, I'm heading to that bit because it used to be, so we've got one on the way into Rockhampton, one in the middle and one as you leave. And when the kids would get bored and sneak out at night, it was a big joke that you would remove the appendages of the bulls in the town. So it's a key issue in the town was finding how to keep the bull's appendages, the bull's balls, attached to the bulls.
Things a mayor has to worry about. How to keep his statue's balls in place. So your only child?
Well, for the first 7 or 8 years of my life, I was the only child. Then so my parents split when I was only 2. So Mum remarried. How old was I when she married? Probably about 4 or 5, something like that. Then I had 2 younger brothers. So I was grew up with them. They were just babies as I was growing up. So I think I had my introduction to motherhood quite early.
Yes.
Because my stepdad would go away. He worked for the water resources, so he was always out bush working on the river systems and that sort of thing. So it was me and Mum at home with 2 bubs while I was going through primary school and high school. So that was an interesting experience.
I bet, especially 2 boys.
2 baby boys. They were only 13 months apart as well. So quite often they'd get mistaken for twins. But I think any mum that's had kids close together like that can attest that it's a very interesting time.
Yeah. So what did you want to be when you grew up? I guess, we know each other from back in the radio station days, and you've had many different career paths over the years.
Oh my gosh, I've had so many, and I was like that as a kid. I mean, I think at first as a kid I wanted to be a singer until I realised I couldn't sing. So that's
kind of a problem.
Yeah, kind of helps if you can sing. Then I wanted to be a pilot. And then somewhere in the middle of high school, I decided I wanted to be a journalist.
Okay.
So I took a bit of a different path though, because I didn't complete grade 12. I finished school, I don't know, I was just one of those kids that was wanting to get out there and experience life. So I finished school at grade 10. And I just worked really until I moved up here because my dad was up here. So I moved up here in the early 2000s, and it finally circled back, and I became a mature age student at JCU to study journalism. Yeah, so I got halfway through that degree and decided that I was a bit too soft though for that. So the idea of covering, car crashes and the more traumatic incidents, it didn't work for me. But I found that I was more suited to public relations. So that's when I started getting into more media, marketing, and particularly philanthropy, because it just is so purpose driven, and I don't know, I just feel really inspired and engaged when you're working for something that's really delivering outcomes. Yeah.
So you're at AFL House now, so tell me about working there.
Well, so I work for AFL Cape York House Foundation. We support children from 45 communities across the Cape and Torres Strait and into Groote, Eylandt in the Northern Territory to come to Cairns and to complete their education. So for many of our kids, it's extremely difficult, through no fault of their own, for them to complete their education. So kids from very remote communities have around about a 38% chance of graduating year 12. And it's mainly around, the key things when you're that remote is actually getting to school in the first place.
Yes.
So there's a lot of issues getting to school. But then so obviously we have to complete school because it's mandated by the government that kids must go to school. So what we do is when they get to high school age, we help them down here. We have 2 boarding houses, so we've got a boys boarding house in Buchan Street and a girls boarding house in Redlinch. And we help the kids, they come down here. So when you are a child from a remote community, to complete high school is the only way to do that is to actually leave your community.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, the thought of going away to boarding school, because when I was naughty, Mum and Dad would always say, "We're going to send you to boarding school." It would terrify me. I'm like, "No, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to live in another town." But for kids from remote communities, the sad reality is that's what they have to do if they're going to complete high school. So then, so they've made the decision to actually, we've got to go to boarding school. But then, a whole other set of challenges sweeps in, and challenges like homesickness, that plays a big role with children going away to boarding school, especially children from remote communities, because they are so connected to their culture up there. So to come to a completely different culture down here compared to what they're used to experiencing at home. So social and emotional wellbeing is a key pillar of the program. Obviously we know that most of us day to day with all the stresses that we have going on, we know that when we're not feeling good, we don't do well. So we have an entire support system that really helps kids to feel good, and that in turn enables them to do well. So we've got young people that are, I would have told you about the statistic, 38% of children from very remote communities complete high school. Well, we've got kids 90%. Last year we had 100% of our graduates actually complete high school. Last year we had 100% of our graduates go on to get jobs as well. So it's about having the right support systems in place that will help kids thrive.
It's amazing.
It's extraordinary, seeing a young person develop too, and reach for a dream and then have the confidence to be able to achieve it.
Yeah, that's amazing work you guys are doing there.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've had many professional achievements over the years. Can you give me a highlight?
Probably I first got into philanthropy in the GFC. So I was working as a communications manager for a financial services firm, which didn't last the GFC. I actually got out beforehand. It was just one of those happy coincidences, so I didn't lose my job because I had no idea what was going to happen. But I just started in my role as Major Gibson Partnerships Manager at the Prince Charles Hospital Foundation in Brisbane. And that was my first job in philanthropy. And then obviously the market crashed, the GFC hit. So it was a very interesting trying to raise money for an organisation in an environment like that, but we succeeded. So we were able to raise the brand awareness of the organisation and get corporate support. So I think we'd got commitments of about $450,000 from corporates of an organisation with pretty much no brand awareness within the first 18 months. So
that's amazing.
Quite an achievement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And especially in a climate like that. Yeah. So it was quite overwhelming when you think, oops, everyone's, all of a sudden, everyone's philanthropic programs, the door's shut.
Yeah.
So, which, happens in an economic climate like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's something most people don't know about you?
I can make chocolate from the tree to the bar.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to have a chocolate making business here in Cairns called Heavenly Cacao. When was it? In 2013, I dislocated my knee and I had 6 weeks off work, so I was sitting at home. And I don't even know how I came across it, but I came across this guy making chocolate on the internet, and I thought, I can make money doing this. So I started to teach myself, and so basically I am a chocolate making expert. I used to run classes around town. I used to, like I said, I had my own business. And it's making it using the professional equipment. From the tree to the bar.
That's amazing. I now want cacao.
Oh, I know. It's funny though. So I shut my business in 2020, just as COVID was hitting. It was. COVID didn't really have anything to do with it. It was more that I was burnt out because it's very physically demanding job. But I can't remember the point of my conversation there.
It's okay. You shut it down because of, I don't know, I've lost it too.
No, I'm sorry. Can we just...
We'll just cut that bit out.
Cut that bit out. Oh, man, I hate it when you forget and you think you said your brain's like a sieve.
Yeah. So tell me, so that's that's something most people don't know about you. You're a chocolate maker from tree to bar. So tell me one of your most personal achievements then.
I guess from a personal perspective, I've had a few health challenges throughout my life. So I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2009, and then a couple of years later I had pre-cervical cancer. So I think it probably, when you're faced with such a significant health challenge, it's the ability to do what you've got to do to heal yourself, because I was always a believer that you didn't get, something causes cancer, you don't get hit by the unlucky stick, which is what my first doctor told me when I had the thyroid cancer. It's like, oh, you got hit with the unlucky stick, sorry. And I thought, well, so after that I started researching to see what the causes of cancer were, and then obviously, there's key things, there's, our food, there's environmental factors. I mean, it's becoming more and more apparent these days that these sorts of things are causing cancer, but also there's research recently, and I'm on a new cancer journey at the moment on breast cancer. So I'm probably 18 months into that. But there's real research out there with regards to the emotional causes of cancer, and stored trauma, which intellectually I always knew that, you think, if you go through trauma in your life and you don't heal it, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to do something. So I guess I always thought, can unhealed trauma cause disease? And obviously there's more and more research coming out that it does. But I didn't think of the mechanisms or I didn't understand properly until this journey. So I guess my first journey with the thyroid cancer was about understanding the environmental and nutritional factors around what causes disease. But this time, when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, I very much knew that it was emotional, because I wasn't in a good state emotionally. So, but what I didn't understand, like I was saying, is that actual, the changes that occur on a physical level that actually enable the disease to manifest. Because I think of emotions and feelings as very intangible. That's like, oh, it's just a feeling. I can't touch it. I can't do anything with it. It's not like our bodies are, I can't see my hand, or, I can't see it like you can see your hand, or we know we've got cells in our body. So there's a lot of new testing that is around at the moment, and this is what's actually enabled me to make that connection between the emotions and the feelings and the physical manifestation. So for me, there is I discovered a test called the Dutch test, and it's a dried urine test, comprehensive hormones. So it tests all the hormones in your body, and for me, it uncovered that I have extremely high cortisol levels. So obviously cortisol is released in response to stress. It's our stress hormone. But when you've had your stress hormones on for so long, you're kind of stuck in a fight or flight response. And I guess I'd been in it for so long I didn't realise. Mm-hmm. And I guess it was probably even down to not even knowing how to deal with stress, because throughout my life it just was not a subject or a topic that I was exposed to, how to deal with stress, how to manage stress. Didn't even realise I was stressed sometimes, because it was just a way of being. So obviously what happens there is that, so you're going about your life, you're feeling, you're reacting, it's creating stress in your body, to the situations that you're going through. That high cortisol level in my body is being converted into bad estrogen, essentially. It's called estradiol, E2, and that is what drives breast cancer. So I had looked at a lot of ways to heal my breast cancer and a lot of options, but when I have a doctor out of Sydney, when we got this test back and it showed my cortisol was just way off the charts. It's, I think the range is like 7 to 29 and mine was 198. He said to me, basically, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you take, this is being caused by stress, and you need to get your stress levels down. Yes, so I am still in that journey at the moment. So it's an ongoing achievement because especially when you are with any cancer, it's phenomenally emotionally challenging, and I think I would say that it's not even the treatment or for instance my case, I've had surgery at the moment. That's the first line of treatment that I've used, and then I have a lot of supporting therapies that I'm using at the moment. But it's not the treatment that's the problem, that's the least of it. It's the mental game, the mental and the emotional game. So having to face that and face yourself and dig deep and go, right, well, what are my traumas? What's happened to me? What's stuck inside me? And, bringing that up and facing it, I think that's a real achievement. So it's been, it hasn't been a nice journey at all. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything. But the knowledge that I've gained about myself and the personal growth and the healing, for want of a better word, is what I consider to be an achievement. Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's big stuff. It's a big topic. But, if anybody that might be going through that journey is interested in finding out more about the Dutch test, because I always think when you are, it's crucial to find out what's causing it. You didn't just get hit by the unlucky stick. Something in your environment. I mean, there's a lot of factors. It's not necessarily just stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, in my case,
it's stress.
It is. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I know there's definitely going to be people listening right now that get got a lot out of that. So, thank you. So, moving on to 3 people you'd like to have dinner with, whether past or present. Who would they be and why?
Oh, okay. I might tear up for this one, but it's probably my grandparents. And then my dad, he's died in January, so if you could see, I don't tear up when I'm talking about cancer, but
and that you're fighting it and you're going through so much,
but yeah, no, I they would be the 3 people that I would like to have dinner with again. Yeah.
You're so beautiful. Best piece of advice I've been given in your life by?
Put yourself first. Yeah, my grandma, my nan gave me that one. Because you have to, because you won't have anything left to give anybody else. And, and I've learnt even through my health challenges, you've got to give to yourself first. And I mean, many people have probably heard about filling your own cup first, because if you have an empty cup, as much as you want to help other people, you're not going to be able to. So fill your own cup first, and then go and, do those things you want to do for other people and help other people.
You're so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, your personal journey that you're going through right now, your beautiful heart, and your beautiful words of wisdom for everyone today. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Remember, if you want to see more of our episodes, hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a new episode of A Cup of Tea with Bree. See you next time.